in terms of the number of clients that we have right around 35 clients, so 30 to 35 clients that use our system. And the vast majority of our business is in the United States and Europe.
Okay.
So, our Asia business is, so we have some new business in Japan, which is why Jamie's out there, which we're really excited about. We've been working in Japan for quite a long time, developing the market. It's a very big sport market, and with the Olympics coming up, hey, it's a place you got to be. We had one other team member on the ground in Japan with Jamie, and then we also have quite a bit of business in South Korea. So that's our other larger Asian market. We're developing out Southeast Asia right now. We started working a lot in Malaysia and Singapore, and we're really excited about Southeast Asia as a region. We think that it's just a very exciting place for all startups. There's great things happening in Southeast Asia, and for sport, it's always been a very strong area of the world. Southeast Asia, the ASEAN Games, it's a big part of that region's country level identities is sport. So we're excited about the growth in Asia. All that said, the brands that work with us, the top 10 running brands in the world, 6 of them already work with us.
Okay. Does that consist of any like Chinese sports brand or running shoes brands?
I do not believe I'm able to say. The top 10 list for the U.S. So the top 10 list for the U.S. does not include any Chinese brands. No.
Okay, I see.
The top 10 list in Europe does not include Chinese brands, and the top 10 list in Asia does not include Chinese brands.
Okay, I see.
So, I think that the interesting ones in China would be Li Ning and Anta and Du Wei.
They do a lot of complex production as well. So
I think we're going to see more of the Chinese brands outside of China. I would hope to. There's some very interesting tech, in particular with the wearables embedded in running shoes and sport shoes. I think that Xiaomi has started. I point to Xiaomi quite a bit when I'm here in the U.S. because I have a Xiaomi bag, I've got my Xiaomi power bank, and I've got Xiaomi stuff, right?
Okay.
Xiaomi has recently gotten into athletic shoes, and I think that, as far as I'm concerned, that's the most interesting company in China tech. I think that a lot of people would agree. They seem to walk to their own beat. Versus, say, your big guys like Tencent and Alibaba, and they're they're boring. They're just boring companies. Xiaomi is anything but boring. Jamie, I don't know. What would you say? Do you see a lot of, in your races? Do you see a lot of Chinese brands on people's feet?
To be honest, no, not. When we analyze races in China that we have done, we see a lot of presence from Chinese brands. We've seen some in
Malaysia
and
India,
South Korea to an extent. Obviously, we've not had many races this year in Korea, China, and Japan.
Yeah.
We also see a lot of challenging.
It's more difficult for us. But we are seeing those brands sort of grow and mature and really start to build their own brand rather than necessarily attempting to mimic what other brands have done, which is exciting for us. Being able to track the progress of new market entrants is exactly the amazing use case for our system and our data. Just using sales data, a brand like Nike cannot understand the effect of these Chinese new market entrants. Whereas we're making real on the ground predictions about who is wearing these shoes and what their performance is. To look at the corollary of that, you can see before all the events in Japan got cancelled, the most prestigious running race in Japan took place at the end of January, and that's the Hakone Ekiden. It's very high level. Ekiden's a massive sport in Japan. Almost more people watch that than watch baseball on TV, the Hakone Ekiden. And traditionally, those runners have been fiercely loyal to Japanese brands such as Asics and Mizuno. This year, 80% of the runners at the Hakone Ekiden wore Nike shoes. And the winning team, who have had a long relationship with Adidas, a long sponsorship relationship with Adidas, they wore Nike shoes and they won. The Nike Vaporfly 4% has really this year completely changed the upper levels of running. But we see through our data how it's changing what the non-professional but highly skilled athlete is wearing. We see Nike penetrating and literally destroying some of the other brands of the within the fast runner space. So
specifically ASICS.
ASICS is ASICS in Japan.
ASICS is losing market share
of the fields, but if you narrow it down to the people at the top, they've gone from 50% to below 20.
Wow, that's a huge.
There's people in what we call the front of the pack, which is one standard deviation away from the mean on pace.
Okay, I see.
So if you only look at the very tip, the professional runners, the people that you see at the Olympics or at the sort of muted Tokyo Marathon that will take place on the 1st of March, you see a lot of Nikes there, but that is filtering down very quickly. I've been running with friends this year, and I've seen half of them get those Nike Vaporflies, and I'm thinking, why am I running in these shoes when I can spend 4% off my time?
The other one that we've seen that has an offer similar to the Vaporflies is Hoka. Are you familiar with that brand, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Hoka's pretty popular in Hong Kong. In fact, the first time I saw Hoka's was in Hong Kong data, to be perfectly honest. I wasn't familiar. Jamie, you run with Hoka. But Hoka has a carbon fiber plate shoe that is out there, and we started to see on serious or elite runners' feet. I think we're going to expect those sort of shoes, that is with performance enhancing carbon fiber plates or spring in them, from each of the manufacturers. They're going to need to have that offer, or Nike is going to eat their lunch. It's that simple. And so Hoka's been doing very well. They're the biggest mover in our U.S. data as well. So they went from an obscure 9th place in the U.S. data that we have last year, up all the way into the 6th and 5th position, depending on who you look at. So, at the expense of ASICS and Mizuno, New Balance, and Saucony. And Adidas has gained in males enough to make up for the loss, but it's mostly fashion. So, you have a lot of younger, experienced runners.
We see Brooks are holding strong in terms of overall representation, but that's a little misleading. As soon as you break down via performance, gender, and age, you can really see that Brooks has a problem with fast young runners. They're not choosing Brooks the way that they were even a year ago. So,
right. So I don't want to belabor. Well, we can share it with Brooks. I don't want to belabor the running shoe stuff, but we really do love this work. And the brands, we've been fortunate over the last year. Our big push was making inroads with each of the big brands.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally starting to see that traction come in. And the brands are seeing value in the data that we're able to unlock. It's been a big turning point this last year for us with extending our massive data set and turning it into really, I guess, actionable data for each of the players within the sport of running. The second goal of this last year was to begin applying our data set, our models, our expertise to other sports.
Mm-hmm.
And we have not been written up on this yet. We only presented it once, which was 2 weeks ago, Jamie. I don't know, but we are working. We're working with professional sports in the United States now.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the reason that I'm out here in the U.S., Jamie was out here a couple weeks back, but then we also have another team member who's based in the U.S. as well.
Mm-hmm.
Was to kind of close some of the deals that we have been putting together over the last year, and I'm happy to say that we are working with some of the Major League Baseball teams. And so that's the only specifics that I can give. But for this upcoming season, which starts in about a month, Miro's AI will be powering image analysis during Major League Baseball games for multiple teams in the MLB.
I see.
So we're really excited about that, and I'm going to tell you what, it's for me, it's a huge because I'm a huge baseball fan. so
Dream come true, right?
I know it's not big in Hong Kong. I'm sorry, but we've started to understand a little bit more about how other sports look at data and look at visual data, and what we've discovered is that there's just nothing like what we offer in the market right now. And so it's really been a matter of us making sure that we can get the right conversations as fast as we can to start, turning them into lines of business. So the running business has been strong and is getting stronger over the past year, and we're excited about that. But multi-sport or other sports is now heating up, and starting with baseball. So our data science team has been working for the last 3 months. Our head of data science, Wayne, who's also a big baseball fan, he has led the effort and delivered some really amazing stuff, and that allowed us to clinch this set of clients within baseball. So excited about that, and we're excited about really how that expands our business. We are becoming more and more tied to the West as we do this, but that's not a bad thing considering all of the issues that have been experienced in Asia.
Is there any an official announcement or launch on the partnership or working with the baseball teams in the U.S.?
Actually, there probably won't be. Mm-hmm. We're able to talk about certain relationships that we have made in that area. What I told you is pretty much what we would talk about at this point. We are, with that level